We got Jake Seeley and Joe Pisapia coming on. Well, now we can bring them on now. Let's see if they're. Hey, what's up, guys?
What is up, fellas?
So it's time for the kicker discussion, I guess.
You know, I achieved something very rare on a podcast on Tuesday. I got a thumbs up from Joe Pisapia. He liked my team. Of course, when you start with McCaffrey, it shouldn't be that big of a surprise. But let's see if Jake Seeley can get a thumbs up for his draft-a-thon team. Jake, welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You know where the thumbs up starts in the fact that Jose Borregales, some random kicker that I put there just because I refused to play with one.
That you actually, I didn't realize they made you draft a kicker. How about that? Congratulations.
I tried not to. I tried to take Chuba Hubbard, but it wouldn't let me. It says you have to fill the position. So I just found the most random, craziest name that I could off the list, and that's who I went with.
I noticed, Jake. I noticed. This is what friends are for.
Let's take a look at the team. Let's see if we like it. By the way, Jose Borregales is a UM guy, so I'm happy you picked him. You're probably gonna win your league because of him.
So the reason I went with it because it made me think of the Aurora Borealis. That's why I picked him.
Themed hams. All right, you got Russell Wilson, Najee Harris, and Nick Chubb. I'm guessing those are your first two picks.
Yes.
Okay. Julio, T. Higgins, Chris Godwin, George. This is a thumbs up team. This is a thumbs up team, Joe. What do you think?
Thank you.
Oh, of course. It's Jake Seeley. He sniped me over there on Kyle Pitts. I had him in the queue during the draft, ready to go.
I didn't take Kyle Pitts. I took George Kittle.
I thought you took Kittle. Oh, that's right. Somebody smarter than you took Pitts later on. That's right. This is what Jake and I do, by the way. Jake and I have done thousands of shows together over the years in previous life. But yeah, Jake is always very tough in every single league that we're always in. It's always fun to draft with him. And watching him have to take a kicker was just glorious today. And I was just waiting for it. And I knew he was going to try to get around it. And I'm so glad that the software would not let him.
I was just amazed. I did not know that someone existed that liked Jamal Williams more than I did. When Jamal Williams was taken before I had taken him, it was really quite a shock. So I'm glad to have somebody else on board there.
I'm with you too, Heath. I'm right in there.
Yeah, I have a piece on The Athletic coming out. It's my guys, quote unquote, and Jamal Williams is probably on way too many of my teams. This is before even DeAndre Swift with the injury concern because it's Anthony Lynn. What do we know about that? But also on top of it, I think were to happen to DeAndre Swift, we've seen Jamal Williams be a top 15 running back. And on top of it, let's not forget how good he is in the passing game, better than most realize. And part of that is his pass blocking, which I don't think guarantees that DeAndre Swift is, quote unquote, always the third down running back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is where I come in and I'm just like, Jamal Williams just stinks. But, wow. When you compare what he has done in his career to Aaron Jones, all while behind the same offensive lines on the same
Aaron Jones is really good.
Aaron Jones is like Jamal Williams is so much worse than Aaron Jones. So I just don't think he's a good running back. But I think there's plenty of value in getting him. You passed up on Chase Claypool, Jamar Chase, Michael Thomas, and that's about it.
Michael Thomas, who would get to week 9 and be like, forget it, I don't even want to play this year.
That's possible, but that could happen. But this was really a terrific team. It's a fun game. I already screwed up. Is try to guess which draft spot you had just based on your roster.
Oh, you looked?
Yeah, I looked. It's 9, and I was going to guess 10. So you actually went with this is full PPR, I'm assuming.
Yes.
And you went with Chubb. All right, I'm going to go to Joe's team in a second. But tell me why you went with Nick Chubb in round 1 ahead of Aaron Jones, who Heath took 10th. I'm sure he was doing backflips there. But obviously not a lot of catches from Chubb, but you took him in round 1.
No, but there was a little bit of an uptick late in the year. And let's be honest about how many running backs actually get 40-plus receptions. And we don't need that from all of them. We've seen Nick Chubb already be top 10, top 5 close, even a full PPR. And what it comes down to is I don't hate Aaron Jones to go by your hate of Jamal Williams. I just think there's a bigger concern for Aaron Jones with A.J. Dillon behind him than you actually might agree with this because I think there's a bigger threat with A.J. Dillon than there even was with Jamal Williams on a week-to-week basis. I think people are forgetting how good A.J. Dillon can be, that he's kind of in that Derrick Henry mold, and that what if all of a sudden Aaron Jones doesn't get double-digit touchdowns because he barely tops 1,000 rushing yards. He's very touchdown-reliant. And what if he just loses 25% of those to A.J. Dillon? Now he's not even a first-rounder.
The only other side of that is because when I saw this change, I kind of thought, you know what, He's probably going to have fewer carries. I think his catches probably go up, though. I might downgrade Aaron Jones a little bit non-PPR because of A.J. Dillon, because I do think A.J. Dillon's a much bigger threat than Jamal Williams. But they throw to their running back so much, and Jamal Williams will get almost half of those targets. I don't think A.J. Dillon's going to get as many targets as Jamal Williams did.
And that's certainly fair, but you also remember he got his Bowie back. He got Randall Cobb. We had to get him back into the mix.
All right, so Joe's team, and I wanted to see if I could guess his draft slot just by looking at his quarterback. So I have a pretty good idea where all these quarterbacks go among the analysts, but then I saw his number one running back is Derrick Henry, so I'm going to guess you had the 4th pick.
I believe it was 5th, actually,
fifth
if
pick,
memory
so-
serves. It's been a long day, but I'm pretty sure it was 5th. If I'm wrong, I'll donate another $10 to the draft-a-thon.
Well, you can donate anyway, but you were right. Austin Eckler went 4th to Scott Fish. We'll surely be asking Scott about that. All right, Joe, are you giving yourself a thumbs up?
Well, clearly. I mean,
well, Trey Sermon is your RB2 and Cole Kmet is your tight end.
yeah,
so I don't
what?
know.
Well, first of all, Cole Kmet is going to I'm all about the late tight ends, and I'm telling you right now, Cole Kmet was a guy who saw his snap count go way up in the second half last year. Jimmy Graham is 174 years old, and there's going to be much better quarterback play. And I don't care if it's Andy Dalton or Justin Fields. If it's Justin Fields, rookie quarterbacks always tend to look for that check down a little bit with the tight end. And Andy Dalton made Tyler Eifert useful, for God's sakes. All Tyler Eifert ever did was catch touchdowns with Andy Dalton. So I feel pretty good about Cole Kmet, but you're kind of glossing over the strength of the team here, which is the wide receivers. It's got DeAndre Hopkins, CeeDee Lamb, Deontay Johnson, Robbie Anderson, and Jalen Waddle. So you kind of glossed over, and right to Trey Sermon, who I like. You're throwing some shade there, but I mean, this team is about the wide receivers, and that's the way the draft unfolded. So that's where I went, and Josh Allen went, I think, in the 5th round to me. I was like, look, I'm going to take Josh Allen there and see where it goes, because I just didn't like the running backs on the table at the time.
Is a pretty Adam thing to do, to just focus on Trey Sermon and Cole Kmet and not your ridiculous running wide receivers. Hopkins, Lamb, Deontay Johnson, and Robbie Anderson as your flex. You also have Ronald Jones on the bench, James Conner on the bench. Maybe plug them in as RB2 if you need to. All right, so Jake, thumbs up, thumbs in the middle. Dan, what are you giving this team?
Oh, of course, a thumbs up, but that's only because I like Joe more than he likes me.
That's very true. I'm going to hop on that Jamal Williams train if I can for a second too. Just
go ahead.
I want to throw in the, DeAndre Swift had concussion issues last year. We already have a situation where they're going to run the football by default. You already know that Jamal Williams can catch the football as well. And it just feels like that's an investment that you make in a running back who's already got a part of the pie. And if Swift continues to struggle with injuries or has another concussion, we forget, it took him a long time to get past the protocols last year. There's always a high chance at that running back position you have a re-injury of that nature. And Jamal Williams is a guy that's sitting out there who is nothing but upside. Still, the ADP hasn't really risen, so I don't get why you wouldn't want him on your bench, because that's one of the guys that if something happens to Swift, all of a sudden opportunity opens up even greater for Jamal Williams. And I think he's a good bench running back to have.
Yeah, no, I agree. They're probably going to be terrible, right? So how many terrible teams have 3 players who are worthy of being top 80 picks?
And that is fair.
Are you upset that I got 2 of them?
He's
Who's
jealous.
the other one? Did you get Hawkins? You didn't get Hawkins.
Oh, I got Tyrell Williams as well. I want all the Williams. I want Damian, Darryl. Give me all the Williamses. I'm just going to name my team Williamses.
There you go. I think it's Williams Jake. Just want to throw that out there.
I mean, I would have taken Tyson Williams too if Joe didn't take him. So
I took him for you. I saw the Williams run going, and I just didn't want you to get them all.
Hey, quick reminder here. Please donate in the next 5 minutes. We are giving away CBS Sports Commissioner Leagues. This is pretty awesome. Leave your Twitter handle. Donate in the next 5 minutes. Giving away Commissioner Leagues. And you have to leave your Twitter handle so we can get in touch with you, but donate in the next 5 minutes to St. Jude. Speaking of donations, it's time for your trivia questions, guys. Let's see how many we have. We have 2. $50 donation for every correct answer. All right, Justin Jefferson set the record for the most receiving yards by a rookie wide receiver in the Super Bowl era with 1,400. Whose record did he break? A, Randy Moss, B, Anquan Bolden, C, Larry Fitzgerald, or D, Reggie Wayne?
I'm almost positive it's Randy Moss.
Okay, you said Moss.
I'm going to take a different one just because you say Randy Moss. I'm going to go with Anquan Bolden.
Jake gets the $50 donation.
Oh, look at you. Good job, Jakey.
Anquan Bolden. All right.
I actually knew the answer.
I'm going to give you guys, this says 30 seconds, but I have enough faith in you. I'm going to give you 20 seconds.
Okay.
Name 5 football movies in 20 seconds.
Both of us?
Replacements. Oh,
Go
wait.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The Replacements.
The Longest Yard.
The remake of Longest Yard.
No, not counting
Little
that.
Giants.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay.
Gridiron Gang.
Waterboy.
Waterboy
you
would
got
count.
it.
That's 5. There you go.
Hey!
Yeah, good job, Jake.
Remember the Titans? Let's keep going.
Remember the
Yeah, come
time?
on,
Yeah. We already talked about Necessary Roughness on this show. So
Little Giants is the one that doesn't get enough credit. Can we just give some love to Little Giants, please?
we have a question specifically about Little Giants later on. So that's in like the 12 o'clock hour or the 11 o'clock
I'm going to
hour.
log back in for that.
Tune back in. Yeah, I know.
Heath, any final thoughts on these teams from Joe and Jake?
Yeah, listen, I think I like the hero RB team for sure from Joe, and Jake's team was good as well. I mean, his kicker's not very good. That's kind of a problem. But anytime you can have that type of receiving core and Josh Allen and Derrick Henry, I just don't think it matters who your number 2 running back is.
So
Smart man right there.
all right, Heath, do you want me to pick apart a Jake Seeley ranking or pick apart a Joe Pisapia ranking?
Well, I just gave Joe a lot of credit and kind of took a shot at Jake, so probably Joe.
Joe, okay.
Good. Knock me down a peg. All right.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. Maybe I
Too
have
easy.
outdated rankings. Adam Thielen, wide receiver 16. You have him ahead of both Bucs guys, ahead of Amari Cooper. I don't know that I've seen Adam Thielen that high. Wide receiver 16.
Yeah, actually, that I do not have, so I'm not sure where you're picking that up from.
So let's pick apart an Adam Aizer hosting job.
No. Hey, I'm just keeping it real because actually, Adam Thielen's a guy that came up on the podcast today. Was a player that I'm concerned with. Because of the tread on the tires, because of we've seen guys who have worked in that heavy volume role too, in the similar body type, kind of wear down quickly, and it looks like he was starting to hit that kind of wall. I think Adam Thielen's still perfectly fine if you have a great wide receiver 1 and then you stack some running backs in there and then you end up with Adam Thielen as your 2 and then back it up immediately. But Adam Thielen, I think at this juncture, we have to understand that, what we've seen in the past is just that. And there's a lot of those guys this year, that I feel like people have almost a false sense of security with Mike Evans at his ADP, Adam Thielen at his ADP. I think there's a lot of guys that are like that where we just kind of buy in like, oh yeah, they're safe. But, we've always got to be thinking ahead a little bit because in the NFL, sometimes we see these guys that hit a wall who just all of a sudden then the drop off begins and we all go, oh, we should have seen that coming. And I think with some of them we can, and we start to get a little inclination, we should knock them down a little bit. So I like Thielen in his place, but then again, I like Jake in his place too. That's not a ringing endorsement of Seeley.
That was fun having you guys on. Thank you very much, Joe and Jake.
Always a pleasure. I love you, Jake.
Thanks, guys.
Want more of the Fantasy Football Today podcast and nonstop year-round fantasy advice? It's simple. Hit the subscribe button and hang with us all throughout the year.